It's October 27th, 2022. This is Darci's Corner. This is another info session on dysphoria and how it affects me. And if you're not interested in dysphoria, or if you can't handle the fact that I'm recording this laying in bed on my side, well, click away. Anyway, so dysphoria is the sadness that trans people get. And I recently read a tweet where this TERF was talking about how her niece was 22 and went on hormone replacement therapy and hung herself like a couple days ago, which is horrible and sad and terrible. And that person was 22. And the person in this post is totally misgendering their niece and saying how hormones never made them happy and transition doesn't work. What didn't make that person happy was not being recognized and not being supported. And they had this belief that it was too late and that nothing they were going to do was ever going to make a difference and that they were stuck in the wrong body for the rest of their lives. And that made them so sad that they chose to end their life rather than keep moving forward. That's what dysphoria does. It makes you so sad that you would die to escape it. That's a preferable choice at some point. Now, we don't know truly what causes those dysphoric feelings, why that happens. But we just know that it does. And for the record, it can happen to cisgendered people too. If you're misgendered continuously, if you're put in a situation where you have to hide who you are or where you are not seen for you, eventually it will wear you down and it'll make you really sad, really uncomfortable, and it could get to the point where you become suicidal. It's just that with people who we call cisgender or who are comfortable in the skin they're in, they don't usually get put in that position for extended periods of time, even if they are occasionally misgendered once in a while. I know that when she was younger, my daughter was constantly called my son by random strangers who didn't know any better because my daughter liked to dress like a boy a lot of the time. And we thought it was funny at the time and we would tease her a little bit about it. But it was a once in a while thing, so it wasn't a constant thing. And I know lots of other people who've had similar experiences. And that's all fine and good. And a moment of discomfort is tolerable. Even if it's uncomfortable, it's tolerable. But when it's continuous, when it's ongoing, then it becomes less tolerable. And eventually, what happens is the sadness overtakes us. And we just decide. We come to a point where like we don't want to spend one more day, one more hour, one more minute as the wrong person. And it makes us so sad that we kill ourselves. Trans people are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than anybody else. Well, that's why. So, my current dysphoria and whatever just keeps coming back and hitting me harder and harder. And I know, well, I don't know, but what I want to have happen is I want to go get facial feminization. I want to continue with the laser therapy on my face, which is expensive. Even though I have a really good deal with my local person here, it's still a lot of money I don't have. I can just barely keep my lights on and gas in the tank and the phone bill paid. So the idea that I have an extra X number of dollars every month to go do that and that's not a cost to me, no, it's a definite cost. And my current job, I still don't know if I have it or not, even though I'm doing the best I can and I'm doing as good as anyone else there. I don't know if I have it or not. And that just amplifies my dysphoria because It's not that the job itself is making me dysphoric, although there are aspects of it that make me dysphoric, like when they misgender me, I have to use the wrong bathroom all the time. When I comment on them misgendering me, I get pulled aside and told it's not important. Oh, anyway, that aside, if I lose this job, I see my ability to be able to properly transition being taken away that much farther, making it that much harder. Like, there's just no way I could save for the procedures that I need on minimum wage. Okay, I just couldn't do it. Um, I was working 2 minimum wage jobs before and just barely staying afloat and sinking every month. Well, I'm still sinking every month, just not as badly as I was. And if I get full time and a couple overtime shifts here and there, and then a little extra from whatever else I do in life, then I'll be okay. But I won't be okay if I lose my job tomorrow. If I lose my job tomorrow and I can't replace it with a similar paying occupation very quickly, oh, it is so hard. And I have family members who are like, you can reach out and talk to me, but those family members trigger me. They don't understand the dysphoria. They're like, why don't you take personal responsibility for your life? And I'm like, why don't you just stick it up your wahoo? Like, part of the reason I have this extreme dysphoria is because of things that were said to me when I was 10. And the idea that you don't remember it, so therefore it didn't happen. No, it happened. You said them, and you burned something into me when you did that because I was very impressionable at 10. And the impression you put on me was all queer was bad. You didn't use the word queer at the time, you used the word gay, but they were interchangeable. They're not interchangeable now, but then they were. I avoid people who are going to gaslight me or people who are going to trigger my dysphoria because I know that if my dysphoria overwhelms me, I would rather end my life than keep going. I know that. So it doesn't matter if it's a family member or if it's a doctor. If I know that person is going to say or do things to me that will make my dysphoria worse, yeah, I kind of would rather avoid them. I don't want to feel so sad about my situation that I would rather not live anymore. And that's what happens. That's what dysphoria does to people. All these Looney Tunes who think that it's okay to stop transgender care because it makes you uncomfortable. You don't care about saving kids' lives because lots of us kill ourselves because the dysphoria becomes too much. It doesn't matter if you don't think it's a real thing. It is a real thing. There's a phenomena that we don't understand and can't explain. And you can't just wish it away or pretend it's not there. And the idea that we can just learn to live with it, holy crap, you don't know what you're asking us to do. Anyway, this is Darci's Corner. Dysphoria is a very real, very deadly condition that many in the trans community suffer from, and it is not to be taken lightly. Don't push a trans person and tell them it's not real, or it's just in their head, or it doesn't matter. It matters. If you felt this, you would not do this to anybody. I guarantee it. We don't all agree on everything, but those of us who have experienced dysphoria know exactly how horrible it makes you feel, and we don't want that for anyone. That's why nobody in the trans community is trying to recruit to our side. We don't want anybody to experience the wrong gender, okay? because we know exactly how that feels. And yeah, it's just horrible. Anyway, Darci's Corner, another education on dysphoria, and it's another little snippet in how I'm trying to survive. Peace.